Do not adjust your screens. Yes, Outta Pocket is live 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Boom Broadcasting. We're wrapping up our second week at our new home on our new channel. Yes, remember Boom Broadcasting launched July 1st. We're also a part of a channel that's doing a giveaway, 500 subscribers on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. You enter yourself with the chance to win. We'll have details scrolling at the bottom here, but we had some breaking news here in the last few minutes we're going to get to right after this intro package. Welcome to Outta Pocket with Michael Davis. I am joined by some of my really good friends, Henry Wilcox, John Cox. No relation between the two that we know of, even though very similar last names, very similar hairstyles. You love them. You know them. They've been here before. And guys, I had prepared a great show because us three have debated on so many sports topics back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But we did have breaking news. So breaking that I don't even have a graphic for the bottom. But Jalen Brunson has accepted $156.5 million. This is $113 million less than his 2025 deal. He's agreeing to a 4-year, $156 million contract extension. And you'd be like, wow, that's a lot of money. No, he took a pay cut. He took a very, very big pay cut. He's taken a $37 million loss to help out the New York Knicks right now. We were talking right before we went on air. We don't know why Jalen Brunson would do this. We don't know who the Knicks are trying to get. Henry, shed some light on what just happened.
I mean, I have zero idea in terms of, he did it because probably he was convinced by the organization or by his teammates to take a cut so they could bring somebody else in, because that's what it takes to win sometimes, is sacrificing some money. We saw Bron try to do that and then failed to do that recently with the Lakers. But the problem is that we're so deep into free agency at this point. Who is left that is worth $25 million a year? I don't know if I can name somebody that is worth, especially in the spot that they really need it the most, in the big man in the center. That not to say anything about Mitchell Robinson. I love Mitchell Robinson, but they did just lose Isaiah Hartenstein. And John, I'll transition you because you made a great point a minute ago about why did they not do this, but go right ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting. It sucks twice for me. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Villanova. Go Hawks. And I'm also not a fan of New York. I'm a Sixers basketball fan. So this is a double not good for me. If I'm seeing the light in the bad, it just confirms that Villanova is not a Philadelphia school. So we will take that win and we'll run with it. But it's interesting to me. I'm looking at the New York Knicks cap space right now, and it seems like they'll have around $50 million until they hit that second apron if they're looking to do something at the trade deadline. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but LeBron has a no trade clause in his contract. Maybe if things aren't working out this year / next year, he forces his way. He says, send me to New York. Let me bring one to New York. Let me go out in a blaze of glory. That would be interesting. I have no idea if that's going to happen. It is interesting that Leon Rose has that kind of, mystique in the league as someone who knows everybody. So always planning. Who knows? I think if we realistically had to speculate, it's probably just if you win a championship on the New York Knicks, you are forever remembered, especially as the number one player. I'm 22 years old. I can't remember seeing a Knicks team that I thought would actually win an NBA title. I remember Knicks teams. I remember Carmelo. I remember Linsanity. I remember this year's, New York Knicks teams. They were fun, but I've never remembered a time when they had a genuine shot at contending for a title. And they might actually have that this year, and they may have set themselves up to do that in the following 3 years as well.
Well, and this is your prototypical like model employee, what Jalen Brunson did. I mean, whether LeBron would leave his son all the way on the West Coast to go out east and play for the Knicks or not, like no matter who they could lure in the future, I mean, Jalen Brunson taking less money to hopefully, and yeah, free agency is pretty much over. Other than a few key players. One player I would love for the Miami Heat to go after is Tyus Jones. We'll transition a little bit to free agency here in a minute. But Jalen Brunson taking less. I mean, we've had so many players just demand the most amount of money. My Dallas Cowboys are dealing with that right now of CeeDee Lamb wanting the bag, Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, all wanting the bag. And it's like, okay, now we're not getting any deals done. And we just need players. Like we need players to commit to winning basketball. And I feel like Jalen Brunson is a rarity. He did exactly what the team needed. Don't know why he took that less right now, but kudos to Jalen Brunson setting the market. And Tom Brady did this with the NFL as well. When he was with the Patriots, he would always take less money, knowing he was going to earn that back through, whenever he did a commercial, whenever he sponsored, if he opened up his own restaurant. Like players can find ways to recruit that extra money in order to help out the team. And this would be a great time to transition into our Fry Debate Friday. And it's time for somebody to get cooked. And it's not going to be me. It's one of you. All right. So everyone would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when we were, sitting around dinner or a lunchtime meal and debating sports and disregarding all of our other responsibilities at the time. And now they get to actually see it and hear it on a recording right now of Debate Friday. And this is perfect because we've seen teams do the approach of, hey, just resign your players, be sure you draft well. And then we've seen other teams that are like, hey, let's just go for all the big name free agents. And we've seen a little mixture of both, particularly with your teams. Henry's a big Detroit Pistons fan. I don't know why. John Cox is a big Philadelphia 76ers fan. I'm more concerned about him. And I'm a Miami Heat guy, and we really didn't sign anybody. But what I want to talk to you guys about, would you rather re-sign your own players, keep them on your team, help market them, or would you rather bring a new voice into the locker room? Would you rather bring veteran leadership? Would you rather go and obtain a big star on the free agent market? Henry, your team, I don't know if you could consider Tobias Harris a big star, but you guys did re-sign Cade Cunningham. I don't know if Cade's worth that much money, but where do you land on, Cade's new contract, Tobias coming to Detroit, and which would you rather on this Fry Debate Friday?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think what you fail to realize, and you think that Cade may not be worth that much, that you can go and look up the graphics. You can go and look up his stats. He is was the only shining point of that team last year. And I watched a lot of those games, I promise you. And I watched him give his all, and the team around him and his coaching staff fail him time and again. And I think that Tobias Harris was an incredibly great signing for us, because when you think about it, who else are we going to get? The problem with small market teams, especially like Detroit, is like there's not much attractive about these states like there is with Miami, where there's tax breaks, or in Los Angeles. I mean, recently we saw Klay Thompson, he said part of the reason that he signed with the Dallas Mavericks of the Lakers was tax reasons. And also, like the sites and where you want to live. A lot of people would rather live in Hollywood than Detroit, Michigan. And so when you go out, you got to throw a lot of money at these people if you want them to come. And I think Tobias Harris is one of those people. And you may think, I've seen Tobias play, and I was weary at first. But then I think once I went back and watched the very few Detroit Pistons highlights from this last season, I realized he's a real basketball player. We didn't have a lot of those on our team. Love a lot of people on our team. We had Killian Hayes starting. We had Isaiah Livers playing minutes. Like, you got to understand that when we're signing these people, I think it's completely worth it because to us, success is winning more than we did last year. And if we win less, I mean, that'd be the end of the franchise. So I think that we are actually making a good move. And I think Cade is worth that much because that's how much it takes to keep him in Detroit.
Now, I will say that you're setting the bar really, really low, but the Detroit Pistons set that bar low. So do you think it's more important to attain or retain your own players, or was it more important to go after Tobias Harris?
I think it was more important at this point. It depends. Like, I hate to say this, but it does depend. And I would say, honestly, in our case, I would say if you're looking for a straight up answer, I'd say attain. Because when you're the people you're retaining are Killian Hayes and people like Isaiah Livers. And I love a lot of our team. We needed new blood. I think this offseason, that was the most important thing, is because we were coming from one of the worst losing cultures. And we have JB Baker's staff, which I have my own feelings about. But I think it's really important that we had new blood in the locker room, because if we just retained and kept trying to develop, I don't know how it would have worked.
I think you guys shouldn't have moved off Maya Williams. I don't feel like he should have been thrown under the bus for what Detroit had happened to them last year. And John, your organization is on the other side of the spectrum. While Detroit's just trying to build from ground zero, you guys are actually in the cusp of like trying to compete for a title. You haven't gotten it going with Joel Embiid. Really, the process hasn't gotten you to the full destination. But what has happened is you guys did go sign Paul George, who was supposed to make that impact for the Los Angeles Clippers, did not. But you guys surround Paul George with Joel Embiid, still in his prime, Tyrese Maxey, not yet in his prime. So what would you say? Because you guys, re-signed Maxey, you obtained Paul George. Where do you end on this spectrum?
I think that Henry was right when he said this is a small market versus big market kind of issue. Those small markets aren't attracting big stars. I hate to break it to you, Tobias Harris is not a good basketball player. I watched him in multiple closeout games this year, score 0 points.
Better than what we had.
No, I promise you. No.
I promise you haven't seen the horrors I've seen, John Cox.
I was a process Sixers fan, so I think I'm allowed to. I think I have that card actually, but if you're going to try and acquire your team through young talent, which I think Cade Cunningham has, that talent. I think he can be a really good player on a really good team. It doesn't make sense to go out and sign a Tobias Harris. It's not like he's going to mentor Cade Cunningham into being a better point guard. He's getting a bag, he might help your culture or whatever. But I would personally choose. I would definitely be Sam Hinkie. I would acquire young talent for as long as I was allowed to. In a perfect world, that's probably 3 years. But with the way they've changed the lottery statistics, the Hawks were far from the worst team in the NBA this year. They ended up with a first overall pick. So it's definitely they've made it more challenging, which has made it, I think, harder for small market teams to contend. If you wanted to argue that they're making it harder for big market teams to contend, if you look at what the second apron does, I do think that tightens them up. It makes it harder to trade things. It makes it harder to acquire little pieces on the margins that you need to win a championship. But to me, I think that there's only, so much you can do if you can't acquire, if you're not in LA or Miami. And that was Sam Hinkie's whole point when he took over the Sixers, however many years ago, was, this is not a destination. We need to sell a team, trade Iguodala, get him out of here. Let's win 3 games over 2 years. And after that, you can argue if it was mismanaged or whatever. But I think that if you want to build a championship team, your best route to go is to field your own young talent, develop your own young talent, and be bad as long as you can and hope one of those players pops. Because no one is acquiring top 10 players in the NBA anymore. Those players don't leave where they are. And if they do, they're going to LA or they're going home. So if they weren't born there and if you're not on the beach, you're not getting one.
Well, I mean, then you have scenarios like Kevin Durant, who will bounce around everywhere. OKC, Golden State, and then going to Brooklyn, but then going to Phoenix of all places. I mean, there was a
Phoenix. Golden State, beach. OKC, not a beach. Brooklyn, big market team. So, I mean, it's just tough. It's tough to contend. I mean, even Brooklyn has been bad my whole life. Even the Knicks have been bad my whole life. So it's really tough if you're a small market. I mean, the best thing you can do is the best case scenario is you find a Steph Curry at 8 in the NBA draft, and then build around him. And now your franchise is worth $4 billion more than it was before. And you get to see 3 parades, and then you leave your city and build an arena somewhere else. That's the best case scenario.
Wow. Is that the best case scenario? Henry?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, unfortunately, I would say personally, leaving the city, I disagree with that very much, but I think we all see it happen, and if that's the best case scenario, I mean, the best case scenario is that you do get lucky, or you have talent like that, or you have like one like flash in the pan year like the Raptors did a couple years ago, but that was because they had so many great pieces around Kawhi. And just Kawhi had that moment where he was healthy, and then also the collapse of the Golden State Warriors at the same time. But I think that, I mean, if you're lucky, you just like everything. The thing that's so important about a championship is everything must line up on every level for you to succeed at that level. And I think that really it's interesting to me because even there are dysfunctional teams. Like you see, like the end of the Bulls dynasty, they became a dysfunctional organization. But they were just that good because they had been built up in that way to resist that. And I honestly think it's really, really strange to say that's the best case scenario. But the more I think about it, I think it might be that you have that flash in the pan and it takes you as far as possible.
Wow. And I do want to remind people you can comment if you're watching on our YouTube channel and we're scrolling what we're doing for our giveaway. But Zeke loves Henry Wilcox, thinks he's so cool and smart. Henry, I know you're using your phone to, record right now. You aren't like, texting while you're on the show
No,
with your burner account.
I got this chicken sandwich in my other hand. So
from Chick-fil-A?
Hey man, we can't talk about that on here. Copyright.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sponsorship.
Your show.
Hey, I got it. The big question though, pickles or no pickles?
Pickles.
That's out of pocket. There ain't no
Go read a book. Go read a book. Maybe you'll learn something.
There ain't no Zeke. I disagree. He's not cool and smart. He's eating his chicken sandwich with pickles. That is out of pocket. That's uncalled for. That is terrible. Now, John mentioning, Andre Iguodala. I didn't even remember he did play for Philadelphia because I'm so, used to his time with Golden State, him winning finals MVP, him being the guy who should take the last shot. And I also remember when he won a gold medal 12 years ago. And then Team USA is locked in for this year. Kawhi Leonard dropped out. The current roster: Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, and Brunson, obviously. We broke the news at the top of the show that he took a pay cut for the Knicks, a very significant pay cut. Going on with this Team USA starting 5, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, who Edwards believes he's still the number one option. We talked about that earlier on in the week. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, and Jason Tatum. That sounds so weird. Just like booking like a Mark saying, "Gotta get those pickles off my sandwich." Okay, thank you. But I wanted to ask you guys because that's a lot of talent, definitely a lot of egos in one room. But who would you put in as your starting five? Now, this starting five will be put on the Out of Pocket socials for you fans to vote, discuss, determine who had the better starting five for this Team USA team. And I'm just going to say, I think I have the best starting five of you guys. But John, I'm going to put you on the spot first, my friend.
Yes. I think that before we say this, I think we can acknowledge that FIBA is a different game. And just because you're not on the starting lineup does not mean you are not a great National Basketball Association player.
Okay. Get over disclaimer, whatever. Hurt some feelings.
All that being said, I personally, if I was the coach, if I was Steve Kerr, I would go Curry at the 1. I wouldn't be mad if it's Halliburton, though. I wouldn't be mad. 2, I'm going Anthony Edwards. 3, Bron. 4, KD. And 5, I'm going Embiid. I think you have to start Curry, Bron, and KD just because they're the older brother. You lost to Germany. Sorry, you can't start anymore. You lost to Germany. You lost to Dennis Schroeder and Franz Wagner.
And Wagner.
And Mo Wagner. I'm sorry, but big brother, the vets, they got to step in. And also, we're going to win gold. We're going to win every game by 60. Come on, guys. Let's give Bron, KD, and Curry their shine. I'm going with those 3. But again, there's so much talent on this team, and if you wanted to switch any of those guys out, I wouldn't be mad. As long as it's not a 3-guard lineup that Kerr loves. I hate 3-guard lineups. But if people want to watch real hoops, there are real hoops going on. Okay, 3v3 is an Olympic sport now. Jimmer Fredette is on that team. I would recommend everybody go check out 3-on-3 basketball because Jimmer Fredette is balling again, and it's inspirational.
Zeke trying to figure out how to stop Joe Ingles. Well, Henry, what is your starting five to stop Joe Ingles?
So first of all, I want to shout out Zeke Spain, aka my friend Peter Rourke. Yeah, that's his fake identity. And I have to say this right now. I did have the exact same lineup as John Cox. So I'm going to alter it ever so slightly for argument's sake. And I'm going to have Steph Curry at the point. I'm going to have Devin Booker at the 2. At the 3, I will have Bron. At the 4, I will have Kevin Durant. And at 5, I will have Joel Embiid. And I'll tell you right now why I have him over Bam Adebayo, even though I love Bam Adebayo. I think that there's a large gap between the best player on this team when it comes to NBA at the very least and everybody else. And I think it's not very close. And I think Joel Embiid is the best player on this team. And I think it's not close. I genuinely, I think it's huge. And I've seen a lot of comments, honestly, about how he is not and how, it's like, I mean, you got to watch ball. You have to understand how good this guy is at what he does. And I mean, I will say after watching the U.S.-Canada game, I was not very hopeful because he fouled out very quickly. I don't think that changes how good of a player he is in this situation. I don't think we realize how big it was that he played for America rather than Cameroon or France.
Are you why you say Joel Embiid is the best player on Team USA?
Why?
Because Curry's older, LeBron's older,
Yep.
Anthony Davis is fragile, and Nikola Jokic isn't on the team.
Yes.
LeBron in his prime is better than Joel Embiid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe Curry.
Okay. Yeah, if we're saying prime, Stephen Curry is, maybe the best prime ever. Shout out Davidson. Just one of the most electric players you've ever watched, and everybody can agree on that. But I mean, if we're talking about primes, absolutely. I mean, I would say Kevin Durant, even his prime was bigger than Joel Embiid's. But at this point in time, they are old. You said fragile, and I want to give AD his flowers. He played 72 games last year.
For the first time in how long?
A long time.
A long time.
But Joel, I mean, right now in this year of 2024, AD, Joel Embiid is the best player by a large gap.
Well, I did have quote unquote the best player by a large gap on my starting five, but you guys went for the big names. I went with strategy. I was like, who is playing their best ball right now? Okay. And I had Steph Curry in my lineup, but now that we had the breaking news, I'm switching Curry out of my starting lineup for Jalen Brunson because Jalen Brunson proved that he is so unselfish. He's so selfless, guys, that he is going to be able to hand the ball to anyone he wants. By the way, Prime Jordan, also better than Joel Embiid. Henry, what do you have to say about the foul baiting allegations?
Oh, he absolutely does. He does, and he does it better than anybody in the league. And you know what? I hate watching it. I do, but that doesn't make him a great basketball player. James Harden did it. Reggie Miller did it. Every player you love has done it.
Well, Jalen Brunson is going to do it for my starting lineup because he's going to have Anthony Edwards, the guy who says he's the number one option. Okay, put your money where your mouth is. Go out, start over the likes of, Curry and Halliburton, so on and so forth, Devin Booker, and prove that you're the number one option now because you didn't win an NBA title. But you know who did? Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's starting over KD, over LeBron, and this is where it happens. So I had Joel Embiid, I had Jason Tatum, I had Anthony Edwards, and I had Jalen Brunson. And I could have went a little out position for the power forward spot. I could have, insert another small forward, but instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put somebody in the best position possible to succeed. You have some freak athletes out there in the world. We're seeing them move to the NBA now, but they'll be competing against Team USA moving forward. Why not put Bam Adebayo, one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player on Team USA basketball, at the 4? He's a natural at the 4. You have him beside Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum, and then you have Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards attacking the basket. I mean, there you have it. That's your starting 5. I don't know what you guys are trying to cook, but yeah, you guys got cooked. I told you at the beginning of the show that y'all would get cooked. Henry, I'm not out of pocket for this.
You are objectively out of pocket for this. And also, I changed my lineup. I know I'm not going to get any votes on the social media polls because it's probably is better than Devin Booker at this point in his career. But if we're calling back to olden times, just remember Devin Booker's run in 2021. How wonderful that. But yeah, no, I mean, why would you put Bam at the 4? I mean, that's just, I just can't believe that. Like, he is a center. His perimeter defense is not nearly as good as his central defense. And so unless
he's 6'9".
Yes, I know he's 6'9". That doesn't mean his perimeter defense gets any better. It's like
he can guard any position, though.
I'm a little out of pocket for that one, Michael.
Not
John.
like Embiid. Not like Embiid.
Not like Embiid, no.
Not like
Embiid can't guard
Embiid
5 positions.
Embiid can actually guard 1 through 5. I've seen him do it. He can actually guard 1 through 5. He moves very well for his size. He is a better perimeter defender than Bam. And the whole issue is if we acknowledge how good of a defender Joel Embiid is, we have to give him MVP every single year. And so we just don't do that. We just don't talk.
No.
Look,
okay, that's out of pocket, John Cox.
Look with your eyes. Look at the advanced stats. Joel Embiid is a top 3 defender. Every single season, he is a top 3 defender. Seriously.
No.
And then on offense, he drops 70 on Wemby, and he drops 60 on Rudy Gobert. The 2 best defensive players in the NBA, he has no problem with. If we acknowledged as a society how good Joel Embiid is on the defensive side of the court, there would be no narrative anymore. It would be Joel Embiid is easily the best player in the NBA.
Do you hear yourself right now?
I mean, it's coaching, it's playing with Tobias Harris, and it's ability to stay healthy, which he's 7 foot, he's 280 pounds, he's doing step backs. Like, he can't control these things.
Okay.
But
yeah, since we're all showing our team bias right now, I think Brandon Miller should be a 99 overall in NBA 2K.
I'm being
my god.
Because maybe even 100, like Shaq was that one time in 2002. I mean, he's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. And also, I think for the Pistons, if you just put Isaiah Stewart solid 88, I think that'd make me happy. You guys have to hear yourselves. Put Bam at the 4. Joel Embiid, the greatest player in the world. He's really good. I don't think he's better than Jokic.
He was better. He was better this year than he was last year.
Last year, I know.
He got better. He had a 70-point game this year. 70.
Yes, against Victor Wembanyama, right?
The guy who came in second for Defensive Player of the Year.
No,
yes,
I'm agreeing with you, John.
Hey, we all know Luka should have won the MVP this year.
I agree.
No.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm not hearing any of this.
Luka was averaging like 30.
Hey, you chew your pickles, okay? You chew your pickles and you calm down because you're out of pocket if you don't agree. I mean, if John agrees that Luka should have won it over Joel Embiid, I mean, hey, I'm okay with it.
He didn't meet if Joel played the full season, he would have run away with it, obviously. But yes, how much you play should definitely factor into whether you're the most valuable. I can definitely concede that. But if I had to vote, yeah, I would have voted for Luka. That guy was unstoppable this year. He went further with a worse team, I would say. It would have been really fun to see them play in a Western Conference Finals, but I would say that the Nuggets had a better team, better coach, and Luka just did more. I mean, he was completely takeover. He also didn't he have a 70-point game or close to it against the Hawks?
Yeah, he went off.
Come on.
Yeah, Henry, you got to acknowledge him.
Luka Fraudich. You will all see.
Wow, whatever. Here's the best part about doing these lives is you guys get to be a part and, be a part of the show. Tell us what you want to hear. Zeke Spain asking whatever his alias is now, what team is the biggest threat to Team USA? I kind of covered it the other day on Outta Pocket. We can go back. All those episodes are available on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel over the last 2 weeks, where we're also doing a 500 subscriber giveaway as well. But yeah, wanted to throw this to you real quick, since Zeke asked and he's listening and he's supporting. If you guys have a team that is a big threat to USA, John?
I mean, Germany beat us. It wasn't the full squad. It was international play. But I mean, like Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards were on that team. It was the same coaching staff. So, I mean, just if you're looking at historically who's given the most trouble, I think it's probably Germany, but don't sleep on France.
Thank you. Much like one of my favorite players, middle name LaMelo LaFrance Ball, it's really important to understand here. France has the 2 best defensive players in the NBA right now on their team. Not only that, if you've seen them practice, and also, I mean, if you look at the Vegas odds, and I'm saying this because my friend Jake Angstreich, huge on these teams. Like he's huge. He thinks that France wholeheartedly will beat the USA. Just defensively, they're a monster, and we've seen them succeed in the past. So I think that there's a good chance that if somebody stops us, it's going to be them. I don't think it's Canada. I know some people think it's Canada, but I think it's France.
A lot of people I've heard said France. I've said France too. Mouth it off with Mike, who does nightcaps. He's doing another nightcap immediately following SmackDown later tonight. Don't know who his guest is yet. I was on Monday's show. It is Fry Debate Friday because you guys are getting cooked, not me. But he did ask what our favorite fry was. I mean, I'm more of a waffle fry from Chick-fil-A. Oh, never mind. Can't drop them until they pay us. Yeah, that is exactly it. Henry, you're shaking your head. What's your favorite fry?
Unbranded Cajun fry from a certain yellow and red restaurant that I will not show you because of branding issues.
Okay. Branding issues. He's a little out of pocket
Cajun
for that
fries. I'm saving you from copyright strikes.
My favorite fry is a Joel Embiid French fry.
Right.
70 on his head.
Are you kidding me?
French fry on his head. Yes, sir. Fried him. 70 points.
Are you kidding me?
7-0 French fry.
When did you have time to draw that?
Can we grade John's artwork right there? Can we see that it's not even a 70 burger, it's a 70 fry? What the heck?
It's a French fry because Wemby is French.
Okay,
French fry.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Whatever.
finally thank you for explaining. I did not
Layers.
understand that.
Boomer did not get it, so yeah, there's layers to that one.
Dang, you got rated a solid 2 out of 10. I don't even know if that's a solid 2. That looks like a soft 2 right there for your fried drawing. It's okay. It's C for effort, you know. Now, I did want to, bring up, that we are doing a 500 subscriber giveaway for Boom Broadcasting's YouTube channel. How you enter it, we've been scrolling the instructions down on the bottom, and we already have a good amount. Like we have gotten, at this moment, wow. Okay. Yep, that's a lot. We've gotten nearly 50 subscribers since we mentioned this yesterday with the giveaway. The entire team's, pulled our resources together, and we are giving away a free copy of EA Sports College Football 25. Henry's more of a 2K guy, but John,
I'm a ball guy.
Huh?
I like to play games.
You don't like to play games?
Mm-mm.
Well, Henry used to play pickup games before John, broke his ankles out on the court.
I've never broken my ankles. I've seen John fall over on his butt. I mean, he knows exactly what I'm talking about, but he won't admit it.
John, are you excited to play EA Sports College Football 25? And what team are you going to be repping?
I'm stoked. I'm very excited. Henry is referring to me rolling my ankle also, not biting on any sort of move. I was just going for a loose ball and fell. But
that is not what I'm talking about.
I don't know, because obviously my alma mater, St. Joseph's, we are not blessed with a football team. I'm a Tennessee fan, so go Vols. Might have to rock the Vols. Josh Heupel's offense is fun to watch, so hopefully it's fun to play. But yeah, probably Tennessee if I have to choose one. But if I'm rebuilding, a bad team up to the top, no, probably Army. We gotta, increase those recruitment numbers in both ways. Bring glory back to the academy, I think.
And run triple options all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
A wishbone offense.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful ball. It really is.
Now, Henry, I'm excited. Boom Broadcasting is doing this 500 subscriber giveaway on the YouTube channel. You guys can go see and be a part of that as well. Henry, what is your favorite video game of all time?
Man, that's a really hard question. A lot of my friends like Zeke Spain and Helm would tell you it's Stardew Valley because I play that at lunch a lot. However, if I'm being brutally honest with you, I mean, you can't go wrong with Minecraft. But favorite game of all time, probably Batman Arkham City. Big Batman guy. Shout out Jack Walthall. That's my boy.
Big Batman guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a branding issue, is it?
No.
Okay. I just want to know,
it's just the words Batman, like bat and then man. It's fine.
Oh, right. It's talking about the animal. Come on, Batman. Or talking to your favorite baseball player. Go on, Batman. That was bad. That was my dad joke of the day. But yes, be a part of this giveaway. Outta Pocket will be on demand, available for your viewing pleasure if you would like to see it. Go follow us on our YouTube. Be a part of this giveaway. Mouth It Off with Mike doing nightcap tonight for SmackDown. Also, not only are we doing the giveaway, but 200 subscribers, not only on Outta Pocket's YouTube channel, but also Mouth It Off with Mike's YouTube channel. He's going to shave his beard. And he's going to rock a Dirty Dom stash. If you don't know who that is, look it up. It would be fascinating to see. So help him get 200. We should pass 200 here soon with the EA Sports College Football giveaway. And yeah, Outta Pocket's going to be back on Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time for your viewing pleasure. But guys, we went a little over. Thank you guys so much for staying with us. For myself, Michael Davis, Henry, and John, this has been Outta Pocket, and we will see you guys back here on Monday.